Let me begin by saying I originally wrote hard and soft, but to keep the middle school age kids and apparently my wife from laughing, I clarified that I was trying to sort the hard and soft lead. Well, at least I think I was sorting the hard and soft lead. This lead is almost entirely sinkers, either store-bought or homemade. It ranges from common bank sinkers to split shot, pyramids to, well, just hunks of lead someone hacked and punched a hole into. This pile of lead that is slowly growing here is a culmination of metal detecting in streams for roughly 8 to 9 years. On one hand, I don't like finding these because they are so abundant, especially in certain areas, and they weigh me down. I toss them in a pouch hanging off my hip for speed and convenience, but sometimes I find so many I have to stop and throw them in my backpack. On the other hand, finding these sinkers sometimes means there are coins and jewelry around. Where there are many sinkers, there has been many people getting in or near the stream. And getting lead out of the stream is just a good thing. I've made a previous video about sinkers and have done some research. The effect of lead in the streams isn't very conclusive. Streams that are higher in acidity or streams with stronger current leach more lead from lost sinkers. The effect of that on fish and wildlife isn't so clear. In some areas, split-shot sinkers have been banned because some birds swallow them, thinking they are stones. This includes eagles, who sometimes are found dead because they swallowed lead still attached to a line with hooks. Despite the lack of conclusive harm, I feel better getting it out of the stream. I will recycle this by selling it to a scrapyard. I know of no better way to get rid of this lead, and I'm optimistic that it will be reused in a way that is safe on the environment. But I have no way of knowing that. Perhaps it will be melted back down into sinkers, and I'll end up finding it in a few years back in a stream. But cleaning this lead out is just as important when metal detecting as pull tabs. If you want to find good stuff, you have to dig lots of junk. And so, I've been digging these sinkers from streams over and over again. Now there is something in me that wants an impressive collection. It's a sense of accomplishment, a little pride in knowing just how much I was able to find. And I could have easily recycled these when I had half or even a quarter as many. But I wanted some impressive number, some impressive total weight of sinkers. I don't know what that number is, but it should be impressive. And I think I just hit a limit where my scrap lead and iron is just taking up too much space. My wife thought that was the case 8 or 9 years ago. So I want to clean these up as good as possible. With a pair of wire cutters, I'm snipping off all the attached fishing line. I'd like this to be as clean as possible to prevent the scrapyard from offering less per pound. I'm thinking I can get around 40 to 45 cents per pound from some initial research. I could probably get on the higher end of that if I were to melt the lead, which would remove all the contaminants. But I really don't want to get involved in that process. And I think at that point I may be combining hard and soft lead. When I started this process, I thought I knew the difference between hard and soft lead. But after working with it and doing a bit more research after cleaning it up, I'm no longer so sure. I thought all the formed bought sinkers were hard, as they really aren't bendable, but I think that might be due to their design. When cutting the line, I would sometimes clip off a small chunk of the lead with relative ease. I thought those sinkers kind of have a grain pattern, unlike the very pliable old scraps of lead that I have. But really, I'm not so sure I have properly divided them up. I did so because pure soft lead sells for a little more than hard lead, but maybe I got it all wrong. I'll find out when I take it to the recycling facility. The reality was that trying to sort didn't take most of the time. It was the cleaning process, snipping the line off, and in some cases, there's a small non-iron wire that I've removed with the wire cutters. I couldn't get 100% of all the non-iron material off, but I think the only way to do this is by melting it down. I filmed this process with a stop-motion app, which I set at 1 picture every 5 seconds. It took 2,183 frames. That's 10,915 seconds, which is 181.9 minutes, or just a fraction over 3 hours to clean these sinkers. But that's nothing compared to how many hours I've detected to acquire all of these. When I detect on weekends, I'll go out for as many as 9 hours in one day. And in the summer, I try to get out in the middle of the week after work, sometime for 3 to 4 hours. Just a rough guess, knowing I detect on average from mid to late May to mid to late October, I'm calculating about 2,700 hours of time I have metal detected in streams over the years. In addition to all the sinkers, I do have many more pounds of lead that I won't be recycling. I have musket balls, Civil War bullets, hem weights, bale seals, and a large hunk of lead that was from a printing plate. Besides what are mostly sinkers that I'm going to cash in, there is a sheet of lead, a pipe, several recent small bullets, and little caps that are used to seal roofing nails going into slate shingles. These are a pain as they ring up on the detector like a silver dime, but are hard to find. In all of this, I did find a bale seal that I didn't know I had. I also sorted out a few old pistol balls that I'll keep, and there are a few net weights. I may keep 1 or 2 of these as they aren't found too often. So Jill and I recently had a friendly competition as to who can find more pieces of lead in one day. The bet was a mercury dime. I'm actively editing that video, and let me just say, it was an epic day. Not only did we find many sinkers, but I found an amazing coin as well. Just more proof that you have to dig all the sinkers to find the good stuff. This Ziploc bag is filled with the lead I found on just that one day. I'm really curious by this point as to how much all of this lead weighs. My best guess is maybe 125 to 150 pounds. Please subscribe and check back to see the competition, and I'll do a follow-up video when I cash in this lead and let you know how much all this lead weighs and how much money it is all worth.